So we see that we get a girls' trip to the beach, honey. We see that Blanca meets somebody, and Miss Electra gives Class A shade. Let's talk. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to KRS TV. This is your boy Kenny, and this is Pose Season 2, Episode 9, and the name of this episode is Life's a Beach. This was a really good episode, and we literally see that this is the last episode before the season finale next week. And personally, I really don't want Pose to go right now, because I am literally at the edge of my seat with this show. But we can, I pretty much think that this episode is a calm before the storm, because the season finale from the previews look like it's going to be crazy and it's going to be epic. So let me begin. We see that it's in the middle of August and the heat wave is rampant in New York. And due to the fact that New York is a concrete jungle, the heat is really hot, to the point that you feel like you're in a sauna. And we see that Blanca's in bed. She's kind of like turning back and forth because she's overheated. She got fans in the window, but you know they ain't doing nothing but circulating hot air, you know. And we see that she's burning up, and she gets a call. The nail salon burnt down. And pretty much, you know, the investigator is talking about, you know, the chemicals that you were using are highly flammable. And she was like, bullshit, it's a nail salon. I need those chemicals for my business. And she says that, you know, and she's pretty much saying that what other nail salons have you heard about blowing up in thin air? And pretty much the investigator walks off, and then that bitch, Miss Frederica the demon, shows up, and we know damn well that she's the one that did that shit, but Blanca has no proof. And the sad thing about it is that Blanca lost her savings, lost her investment, and she has no insurance. So pretty much, you know, her and Frederica go back and forth, and she's like, you live and you learn. And she says that, you know, this little toe-to-toe thing that me and you've been doing actually taught me to protect myself. So I actually thank you, because you taught me that. So what I've done is that I've raised the insurance coverage on this building, and next spring I'm going to triple the rent, you know. And I'm like, see, this evil old bitch, like, she literally was going to do everything she could to destroy Blanca, and now she's burnt up her business, and because she has no insurance, she can't replace any of that stuff. So it's like everything she's invested literally blew up in smoke. And then she was saying that, yeah, I'm gonna, you know, triple the rent, and I can attract new tenants. And she's like, also, I will relish all summer of you back home in the Bronx, you know, filing up acrylics in the 100-degree August heat. And then she walks away, and I'm like, Frederica, I'll be happy when Blanca fucks you up, because I'm just hoping that Blanca finds a way to get back at this bitch, because that damn Frederica is just impossible, and she's evil, and she will do anything to win. She just didn't like the fact that Blanca won the battle, and now she's gonna continue to come for her, and I just thought that shit is crazy. So then we get a scene with Electra. She's pretty much at work in the dungeon, and she's sitting in front of fans and everything, because, you know, she's wearing a leather bathing suit, so you know this bitch is burning up. And then we see that one of the other girls that work there is leaving. She's like, leaving so soon? And she was like, yeah, most of the clients are on vacation. You know, it's not like the peers, honey. This job is seasonal for us. You know, most of our clients, you know, go on vacation in August. And I know that to be true because I worked for a law firm. So yeah, like a lot of these people in business and in law, August is that time where they go on vacation. So when I worked at a law firm in August, it was literally dead. So I was literally sitting there just collecting my check and not having no work to do. So I didn't complain. I was still getting paid. But yeah, that's true. Like for people who work in law and in business, August is usually that time where a lot of them go on vacation. And then she had mentioned like, Electra, don't you still got that dude in your room? And she's like, oh shit. So I'm like, damn, Electra, what the hell you got yourself into now? You already got a damn dead body in your closet. So we go to see, there's this guy, his name is Joe. He's literally been in there for 3 hours alone, and he's still saying, I want to stay. So his whole thing is that he likes being in isolation, and he has his whole leather bodysuit on, and he just likes being alone with nobody bothering him. And he's like, you know, and he's like, I want to stay. And she's like, look, I can't stay all night with you. And then he was like, leave. You know, well, he says, well, it's okay, you can leave. I like being in isolation. You know, the pain in one position and the sweat under this latex. I'm like, this guy is sick as hell. And he's a big head. He's like one of the big wigs at Wall Street. And he likes this fetish of being alone. And then like Electra's like, you actually want to pay me for you to be left alone? You can get that for free. And he's like, I'm not paying, you know, I'm not paying for to be alone. I'm paying for the pain of anticipation. You know, what if somebody finds me? You know, that whole adrenaline, you know, gets him going. And she's like, look, I can't leave you here alone. I've had some bad experiences. Yeah, and it's up in your closet, bitch. And she's like, look, you work on Wall Street. Why don't you go on paid? You don't go on paid vacations like everyone else? And he was like, I got a beach house, but I hardly ever go. But he's like, I like to stay here in the heat. And then all of a sudden she was like, a beach house, you say? So the wheels start turning, and all of a sudden my song came on. Like, I was too blind to see that you belong to me. You are my everything. Like, that's my favorite Jody Watley song. And I was like, yes, I remember when that song came out in 1990. And I remember I was like 6 or 7 years old at the time. And yes, that song gave me life. And we see that they're all at Blanca's house. They are literally sweating it up. You know, Lulu is giving everybody popsicles. And they was like, shoot. And like, Electra's like, you up here giving popsicles? That ain't shit. You know, this is like a snowball in hell. What the hell? And like, so she just complaining about the heat left and right. And we see that Angel pretty much tells Blanca to tell them what happened. And she tells them about what happened with the salon. And she says, I know that bitch Frederica set the fire herself, you know, and she raised the insurance on the building and all that. And then like Electra was like, hell, if I don't blame her. I would have did the same thing if I had that shithole. And they was like, really, Electra? Seriously? And she's like, man, it's so hot. I feel like I'm being fucked by Satan himself in the seventh circle. I'm like, you bitch. That damn Electra in her reads is everything. And then like we see that Blanca is really just, she's at wit's end, and she kind of flips out and is like here it is, my opportunity came and it went. You know, my kids are gone, and now my business is gone. And then we see that Electra is still complaining about the heat, and they was like, bitch, shut up, why are you complaining about the heat? Like, and it's like, shit, don't you got AC you know, in your apartment? And she's like, well, yeah. And they like, yeah, why aren't we at your place? And then she was saying because of the smell. And then all of a sudden you see her and Blanca lock eyes, because Blanca knows about that dead body in her closet, but Lulu and Angel have no idea. But then she pretty much says that there's this neighbor who has she has a Caribbean restaurant and she be having a fish fry, in her apartment. And when the apartment gets to 85 degrees, it gets worse. But we know she's talking about the damn dead body and shit. But then finally, Electra comes up with the idea, you know what? We need a beach vacation, a girls trip, and pretty much she says that after losing Candy, we owe this to ourselves, and then due to the fact that, Blanca, and then she says also due to the fact that Blanca ruined her house and her business, pack your swimsuits and meet me at my house tomorrow morning. And then we pretty much see that they go to Electra's house. They're playing Bobby Brown's Tenderoni. That's my shit too. And then we see that Angela and Electra are in their swimsuits, and they both were slaying their swimsuits. They both were giving, model chic, Vogue cover. And then Angel looked gorgeous. And she was like, what's that smell? And she's like, it's pine. And we see that she has all of these pine air fresheners. The air fresheners, the tree air fresheners that you put in your car. She got them all throughout her closet to kill the smell of the dead body rotting in the closet, in that trunk. She's like, oh, it's pine, and all of that. And then she pretty much says that she has a Hertz rental car waiting downstairs. And then she says that, yes, you need to get the experience, Angel, because if you're going to be a supermodel, you have to travel. You're going to be traveling, but you have to travel well. And then we see that she gives a little pose, and I was like, you better work, Miss Angel, supermodel of the world. And then she was like, oh, wow, traveling's going to make me feel like I'm in a Chevy Chase movie. I'm like, yes, honey. And she says, and she's saying that, yes, look your best. And then she yells like, and she's like, Lulu, get your ass down here. What's taking you so long? And we see that Lulu comes down there, and she's kind of self-conscious because she thinks that, oh, does this make me look fat and all of that? And they was like, girl, cut it out. You're not fat. You thick. And then all of a sudden she's like, oh yeah, I do look thick, huh? Yes. And then and then all of a sudden Blanca shows up. Blanca, when I saw Blanca in this thing, immediately the song that came to my mind was Pippi Longstocking is coming into your world. I was like, she was giving Black Pippi Longstocking like no other. She's like, and that damn Electra is stupid as shit. She's like, oh my god, I can't. Where are my nerve pills? I can't with this shit. And then all of a sudden, she kind of was given like, Ellie Mae from the Beverly Hillbillies. And pretty much Electra was like, Blanca, you have to change. You are not going with us looking like that. And then pretty much, she's like, look, I'm fine. Just leave it alone, all right? I'm good where I am. And then Electra's like, excuse me, honey. You are not going to be bringing that negative energy just because your shop got burnt down and all that. And she says, it's not that. She was saying that, look, I'm not like the rest of you. What if I get clocked? What if I'm not beautiful enough and all of that? And they pretty much said that, girl, we got you. And pretty much they pretty much take her out and they get her a bathing suit and everything. They pretty much get her together, and they also kind of like give her confidence. And pretty much she says that, and then Electra says that, look, everything's on me. The only thing y'all will have to pay for is your cocktails. So we see that, they go on the road, and that damn Electra can't drive for shit. As a matter of fact, she doesn't even have a license. She bought a fake ID so she can get the rental car. So her ass can't drive, but yet when they on the road, they are playing Taste of Honey's Boogie Oogie Oogie, and they are just getting their life. And they pull up to this beach house, Joe's beach house. That damn beach house was like a fucking mansion. It was everything. That beach house was beautiful. It had a pool and everything. And they go in and she says that, look, you guys have your own rooms. You know, make yourself at home. We're probably gonna watch House Party, you know, on the big screen and shit. And I was like, yeah, that's the year the House Party came out, and House Party's a classic. Love that movie down. But then she says, but the thing is, the garage is off limits. And they're like, why is that? They go down there. Damn Joe is in a cage. He's handcuffed. He's in his latex gear. And he's blindfolded. And it's like, they see her client. And, you know, Blanca dismisses, you know, Angel and Lulu. And she pretty much tells Elektra, like, look, you are not going to have another situation like the last time. And she's like, look, it's not like the last time. You see, his mouth is open and his nose is not covered. He's breathing. He's okay. So she pretty much she takes the blindfold off and she introduces Joe to Blanca. And he's like, nice to meet you. And he's saying that, and he's like, and he's like, yes, I'm loving this. This was a great idea. I love the isolation. And it's just really giving me it's just really giving me a rush. And then he was like, and then she was like, okay, we'll come back to check on you. He's like, yeah, you can come back and check on me tomorrow. She's like, oh no, I'll be back to check on you in a few hours. So she's making sure she's regularly checking up on him to make sure she don't have another dead white man on her hands. Smart move, bitch. Yes. So what ends up happening is that the girls, they get ready, they go to the beach, and they're playing, It Must Have Been Love. Love that song too. It must have been love, but it's over now. I'm like, yes, just giving me my life. That song was also in the movie Pretty Woman too. But yeah, they're pretty much enjoying the beach and whatever. And Blanca decides that she wants to get into the water. Now, granted, Blanca can't swim. And that damn Electra's like, oh no, honey, I've seen Jaws way too many times. I am not getting into the water. And Lulu's like, baby, I just got my edges done. I ain't getting in the water. And then Angel's like, I can't swim. And then Blanca's like, I can't swim either. And I'm like, so how y'all gonna help each other? Two bitches can't swim. What the fuck's gonna happen? So, but she's like, I'm terrified of water too. She's like, well, I'll hold your hand and I won't let your hand go. So the both of them go to the water. We see that Lulu and Elektra have a conversation, and Lulu's like, these people keep staring at us. Do you think they clocked us or whatever? And Elektra's like, I could give no shits about what these people think. But she's like, but what if they try to attack us? She's like, honey, I got a blade in the cooler. We good. And then the next thing you know, we see that, Angel comes back, running from the water, screaming, oh my God, she's drowning! She's drowning! And then we see the damn lifeguard, and let me say, we get a sexy Baywatch moment because that damn lifeguard was nicely built. And he runs out there. He pretty much, saves Blanca, does CPR, and probably gives her a little something extra. And then finally Blanca comes to. So I'm like, Blanca done fucked up and got her ass drowned. After she had said they was only gonna go to knee level. Yeah, she went too damn far and her ass damn near drowned. So he brings her back, and then all of a sudden we see this sexy body lifeguard, and he's like, nice to meet you. And I was like, ooh. So it seemed to me that Miss Blanca got her a little love interest, honey. So, oh yeah, but also while they was walking down to the beach, Blanca and Angel did have a conversation, and she was asking her about the drugs or whatever. And Angel says that, look, I'm done with all that. I want to get back in your good graces before I come home. And she was like, oh no, honey. You actually have a home now with you and Poppy. You need to, get yourself together so you can build your own home and you can have your own children. She's like, you left the nest, everything is good. But she's like, I'm happy that you're working on yourself. Continue to do so. So yeah, that was definitely a good moment. But yeah, I was kind of looking at the bodyguard like, yes, baby, yes, child. So finally, they get back to the house. Electra goes to check on Joe, and she's like, Joe, where in the hell are the adult beverages? He's like, they're in the wine cellar. She said, it's empty, you idiot. And she's like, oh, yes, my house people probably forgot to fill it. She's like, you're useless. And then she puts the blindfold back on him, and they pretty much says that, hell, the only thing we got in here to drink is beer and scotch, men's drinks, but nothing else. But yeah, we see that Blanca and Lulu are talking about the lifeguard, and she was like, oh yeah, I think he was feeling you, Blanca. And she's like, yeah, and he was fine. And he was like, and then Blanca was like, yeah, shoot, I would let him get on top of me, honey, and do whatever he want with me. And then like Blanca, and then like Electra comes in there like, look, enough talk about the damn black alcohol. We ain't got no alcohol in this bitch. So, and pretty much she was like, yeah, we only got like beer and scotch in here, like, yeah, white people, really. And then they was like, you know what, we going out, we're going out to feast and drink, and they like, you sure you want to do this? She's like, hell yeah, shit, we ain't got nothing to hide, let's go. So we see the four of them. They dressed, they all looked good. They all looked good in their dresses, and they, going out, to this restaurant. They go to this very posh place where pretty much, this is where a lot of these, high-end people go to vacation. So they asked for a table by the window, and they says, oh, I'm sorry, those tables are booked. And they was like, this bitch lying. So she gets them a table, and they ask for 4 Long Islands, and Electra says, dinner's on me. And Blanca thanks Electra, thank you so much, Electra. I really needed this after what I've been through. And Electra says that, look, we may live in separate houses, but you will always be my daughter. And I was literally moved by that. I mean, definitely, it really touched me, because I was like, that was beautiful. So the next thing you know, they turning up, and then like Electra's like, I'm so mad we lost him. And they was like, who are you talking about? Luther Vandross. And then Angel was like, girl, he gay, he ain't dead. And I'm like, but she's like, shoot. And then Electra was like, hell, he should be, I can't have him. I'm like, yeah, and that was my mom's man too, and she ain't care. Because my mother loves Praytel. Praytel is her man too. So she had a love affair with Luther, and she got one with Praytel. As a matter of fact, the last episode, when Praytel and Ricky got it in, she knocked on my door, was like, I know Ricky ain't fucking my man. Oh, shout out to you, Mom. That was hilarious. That tickled me, because Praytel's her man, and you can't tell her nothing. But yeah, so they pretty much are turning up, they done ate good and everything, and Blanca has to go to the bathroom. They're like, now her ass can't hold her liquor. And then all of a sudden, while Blanca's in the bathroom, it's just, Electra, Angel, and Lulu at the table. Then all of a sudden, this uppity white bitch comes to the table, really throwing her white privilege in their face, and she was like, yes. And she just walks up to them, and they was like, may we help you? She was like, I'm a loyal customer at this restaurant. Me and my girlfriends are trying to enjoy ourselves, but your cackling voices are so loud, we can barely hear our conversation. And then like Lulu's like, Electra, don't do it. She ain't even worth it, honey. But Electra was like, honey, we are no louder than the rest of these other tables. So, what are you really trying to say? Do you know that this stuck-up bitch had the nerve and was like, I'm no dummy. I work in the city, and I know a man trying to pretend to be a woman when I see one, and I see 3 of them right in front of me. All of a sudden, all bets were off. Electra pretty much had this look. She was like, oh, really? So with this, the shades go on. Next thing you know, Miss Electra gets up and begins to read the living shit out of this bitch. And like literally pretty much, she pretty much, begins with like, God blessed you with Barbies, a backyard with a pony, a boyfriend named Jake, and an unwanted pregnancy that your daddy paid for so you can go to college and major in being a basic bitch. None of these things make you a woman. Pause. So she pauses, begins to drink, and then you got Lulu. She's pretty much orchestrating it. She's like, yep, clear your throat, lubricate, read that bitch. I was like, yes, that was everything. And she begins, so she pretty much continues. She's like, yes, and that uniform you're wearing, that ill-fitting J. Crew culottes, your fake pearls, and your 50-cent scrunchies can't conceal the fact, honey, that you don't know who the hell you are. And I know our presence threatens you. We fought for our place at this table, and that has made us stronger than you will ever be. So pick up your jaw off the floor and go back to your clam chowder and shallow conversations, because we're not going anywhere. And like, that bitch face was cracked, and I was like, Electra definitely gets VIP this episode, because she made me put on my shades to give this shit, because she let that bitch have it. And and then all of a sudden it was like, yeah, honey, go back to your clam chowder before the clam chowder gets you. I was like, yes, that was everything. And then like, Electra was like, yeah, anybody else? Like, bitch, I'm ready. Like, and here it is, her ass went back to that table, and that was all she wrote. Yeah, boo-boo, you decided to poke the girls, and the girls chopped your head off, and you got every damn thing your white ass deserved. Fuck out of here, bitch. Alright, so now that I've done that, so then we see that Blanca comes out of the bathroom, and she sees, oh boy, the bodyguard. He's on the phone talking to his grandmother. And then all of a sudden she taps him on the shoulder, and he tells his grandma that he'll call her back. And he was like, wow, you look good, Dry. And you can definitely tell he's smitten with her, and he is fine as hell. And he introduces himself. His name is Adrian. And I was just saying, like, Miss Blanca, you better get yours, bitch, because Blanca's my girl. And he says that, for 6 months that I've done CPR, I've never done CPR with lips like yours. And she's like, yeah, I kind of felt you slobbering over me. Yeah, she's like, I kind of felt you slobbering over me before. And then he invites her on a stroll of the beach. He wants to see her in the moonlight. I'm like, you better get it, Billy D. I ain't mad at you, Adrian. And I was like, shoot, I walk on the beach with you too, Adrian. Shit. So I was like, but he says that, yeah, it will make me a happy man. And I was like, you better get yours, Adrian. I ain't mad at you, player. So then, like, back at the table, Lulu is telling Electra, girl, you didn't do your signature move by flipping the table over. She's like, oh, you right. That's right. Yo, let me go get that bitch and bring her back. And she was like, no, boo-boo. You made your point. Sit your ass down. Because you see, old bitch is turned away, and she talking to her friends. She tried it, and her ass got cracked. She's sitting over there. You already made your point. You ain't got to do that, bitch. Sit down. I was like, yeah, Electra was ready to pull that signature move. Because you know that bitch likes to flip tables and pull tablecloths and shit. So then we actually see that Blanca comes back, and pretty much she lets them know that she ran into the lifeguard. His name is Adrian, and they was like, oh really, girl? They was like, yeah, so and she was saying that, he wants to take a walk on the beach at night. And Electra was like, I hope you said no. And she's like, no, I said yeah. And she says, have you lost your mind? Like, look, you can't trust a man at night. It's not safe for girls like us. And then, like, they began to go back and forth, and Electra was like saying that, and they all were like, yeah, I thought about that, she got a point there, girl. And she was saying that, look, and she says that, first of all, they are afraid, they are afraid of their desires for us, and they take it out on us, and it happens all the time, and that's exactly what happened to Candy. They don't kill us because they hate us. They kill us because they are afraid of what it means to love us. And I was like, girl, you better tell it. I mean, this is true for the trans women, and I want to take here to say that, look, we need to start protecting our trans women, and we need to stop, trans violence all across the board, especially with our black women. So, and pretty much, Blanca's like, so what are you saying? I'm supposed to be in fear for the rest of my life? Like, she says that, look, I want to take a chance, and I'm thinking, she's like, I'm going, and I'm thinking, that conversation she had with Pretty Tell at the last episode, I think was playing in on her, that he was saying that, look, you the one who chose to shut yourself off from the world because you have this disease, and he was like, it's no excuse. Put yourself out there, and she actually did. And the thing is, all three of them gave her weapons. They gave her some brass knuckles. She got a blade and got a taser. So they kind of let her be known, if nigga get crazy, you got weapons at your disposal to fuck them up. So then we see Blanca and Adrian strolling on the beach. He's studying at Fordham University, and he's studying to be a doctor. He talks about, his mother had died of cancer when he was 10 years old. And while he was at the hospital, he noticed that all the doctors were white, but all the orderlies and the nurses were black and brown. And he says that, I think if I'm going to be in the hospital, I want somebody that looks like me taking care of me. So I was like, yeah, he's trying to break in, to saying that we need more black doctors. Doctors are black and brown. And then the thing is, she also talks about what she went through with her restaurant with her nail salon. I didn't mean to say restaurant. With her nail salon getting burnt down, and he pretty much says he's sorry to hear that. But then, she's saying that, I'm just trying to do great things in my community. And he's like, your community? And she was like, yeah. And he was like, and then he kind of stopped her. He was like, I already know, Blanca. You don't have to pretend with me. And he says, you're a beautiful, soulful woman. And can I kiss you? And she was like, didn't you do that earlier? He was like, no, but a real kiss. And then they actually kissed, and I was like, wow, this is so cute that Blanca got a guy who's into her for her. And we're just going to see how this plays out. So therefore, we see that Blanca is finally coming home after the break of dawn. And the girls are in there like, where the hell is she at? Like, shit, we might have to call the police and see if we got to find her. And I'm like, what the hell police gonna do, child? Then next thing you know, we see that Blanca finally shows up. It's like, girl, you really had us worried and everything. And pretty much, she tells them about her time with Adrian, that they made out, they didn't have sex. And they was like, did you tell him you were one of the T girls? And she was like, I didn't have to. He already knew. And they was like, oh, girl, really? And we see that all of them are happy that Blanca had this moment. And it really was something that uplifted her. That one, she feels desired, and now she feels beautiful. And it also saying that, yeah, it's not going to fix my nail salon and my situation, but at least it instilled confidence in me, And she said that he was a gentleman through and through. And indeed he was. And they all embrace her. And they say that, and I have to say, she deserves the best in life. Shout out to Crystal LaBeija. Yes. So then we see that Joe, we see that Elektra goes to see Joe, and she's pretty much saying she's about to leave and go back to the city. And then he was saying that, good, he says that, yeah, I was hoping that you would have just left me here and no one would find me or days or never. And then Elektra begins to let his ass know, like, do you know how fabulous your life is? And you choose loneliness. Some of us don't have that option. And then they pull off, and then all of a sudden we see that they're in the car and they're playing the jam in vogue. Hold on to your love. You got to hold on. I'm like, they up there getting their life. They singing and everything. And we actually get a moment with Elektra, because while they're singing and they on the car, we got Blanca in the front seat and we got Lulu and Angel in the back. And then all of a sudden she looks in the rearview mirror and she sees Miss Candy there. Because I forgot to mention this earlier, when Lulu and Elektra were on the beach together, they had brought up Candy, and Elektra says, I've realized that I never went up to her casket throughout the funeral service, and I never regret anything, but that I do regret. But then Lulu said that, honey, you gave a great send-off to Candy, and trust me, Candy was grateful for it. So we see Candy's ghost is back there lip-syncing with them. It nearly brought me to tears because I miss Miss Candy. I really do. And that was a really good movie because she up there singing and she's giving her she's like giving her judge, and she's literally in sync with the other two. And then she looks again and Candy's ghost is gone. So, and we see that definitely touched Elektra because she's still there in spirit with them, because she was saying that she wished Candy should be there with them, and it just doesn't feel the same without her. So it was cool that they still paid homage to Miss Candy, child. So they finally get back in New York. They finally get back home. We see that Blanca and Angel are with each other, and she asks Angel, can she stay with her for the night or whatever? And she's like, okay, I'm gonna call Poppy and let him know that I'm not gonna be coming home. And then all of a sudden she says, Mother, you got a message. And she plays the message, and it's Adrian, and he's saying that, I know you probably haven't made it back yet, but I want to let you know that I'm thinking about you, and I can't wait to hear from you. So she calls him back, and she says, oh yes, the pillows and the sheets are in the closet, and I'm gonna need to be alone and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be on this phone for a long time, so yeah, go on. I was like, shoot. So then she gets on the phone, and he answers the phone, and she's like, hi Adrian. And that's where it ended. And then the quote that they left at the end of the episode is solace anywhere more comforting than that in the arms of a sister? And that was by Alice Walker, the writer of The Color Purple, one of my favorite books. Love it. So it was a really good episode, but as I said, I think this is a calm before the storm, because I think this season finale is going to be epic. So I'm waiting to see what's going to happen in the season finale. And I know they're going to be gagging in all of the groups on Facebook and on Instagram. So that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on all of my social platforms. I have them all listed in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I'll be back with the season finale of Pose. So until next time, everybody, take care.